Okay. Hi everyone. Today we are going to deal with something which is called Ielts Task 2, a formal introduction. Uh, Many students have asked me what exactly is the format of this Ielts Task 2. So I have to say that it depends on the question. So I think it is difficult to explain, but I just have to say it is just an essay format. So it's a standard essay format. So let me see what exactly is IELTS writing. So IELTS writing is of 60 minutes. So we do have 60 minutes is the duration of the IELTS test. We do have task 1, we do have task 2. So what we see in task 1 is some pictorial representation conversion to words. So some source of pictures will be converted to words here in task 1. However, in task 2, it is essay. Okay, you have to write a formal essay. So I will be dealing with this part later. Okay, so I am going to deal with this task 2. That's the essay here. So how many types of essays are there, and how can you present these types of essays here? So this in this particular session, I would like you to get a brief introduction on the different types of questions in writing task 2 IELTS. So the first one is opinion question. So it's nothing but opinion question here. To make it a little bit smaller, yes. So opinion question. Another one is ideas types of questions. So we do have two basic types of questions there in IELTS. And one type is the opinion type of question. Another type is ideas types of questions. So this is my way of classification. So there are different tutors. They do have their own convenience to classify this thing as agree or disagree question, advantages, disadvantages questions, and so on. So I do classify this thing into two main heads based on a particular logic, and that is the logic. Opinion question asks your opinion, and ideas questions asks general opinion. So opinion question asks your personal opinion. I would say it further. Ideas questions ask your general opinion. As the general opinion in the sense, what people think about this thing. You may be thinking the same. Sometimes you may be thinking the different. You may be thinking in a different way. But what exactly are ideas type of questions are general opinion questions. So I need to categorize the opinion tasks to two. And number one, I can say it is opinion personal viewpoint question. Another one is opinion discussion question. So usually we call opinion personal viewpoint question as opinion question itself. And opinion discussion question we call in general, we call it discussion question. So don't confuse. It's just commonly called as opinion question here. This is commonly called as discussion question. So in both the cases, you are, excuse me. In both the cases, you are going to give your opinion. So in the first case, you are going to give your opinion in the beginning. The second case, you are going to give your opinion at the end. So in both the cases, you are going to give your opinion. The first particular type of question, opinion, personal viewpoint question, what we generally call it as opinion question, we are going to give our opinion in the introduction itself. But in the second option, it is not mandatory to give your opinion in the beginning. You can either say it in the beginning, no issues there, but don't give a clear-cut idea after the discussion. Only you have to give this thing. So we expect the complete answer after the discussion. So generally in the part two, the type two, we are going to give your opinion at the end after discussion. So let's go ahead with number one. So that is the structure, how the questions look like. So the questions we'll be having usually that is one statement and one question. So that will be the structure. Usually 90% of the personal viewpoint question will be like that. So one statement and one question. Let's go with an example of the question so that you can understand. So this is a type of question. So I just gave an example. For the example purpose, the question is there. So reading books is better than watching YouTube to learn. Do you agree or disagree? So this is a type of opinion, personal viewpoint question. So it has one statement. So that is a statement. Reading books is better than watching YouTube to learn. That is a statement part. What is a question part? Do you agree or disagree? That is a question part. One statement and one question. So this is what we can say in an opinion, personal viewpoint question. I hope you have understood what exactly is this opinion, personal viewpoint question. So it comes in different forms. It may have two statements and one question. It may have three statements and one question. So even if it is having two statements or three statements, the statements will be having a correlation. So the core of the sentences will be the same there. So it will be one particular opinion there. So based on one particular opinion, if they are asking you a personal opinion question, it falls under this category. Usually the questions comes like this. So if I go ahead with the alternatives of this particular thing, I can say it comes like this. Sometimes reading books is better than watching YouTube to learn. Um, how far do you agree or disagree? It can come in this form too. Reading books is better than watching YouTube to learn. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Okay, so I have opinion question like this. Now, I am not going ahead uh, with a different topic. The same topic, I'll be giving you examples after examples how the personal viewpoint questions appear to you. Another type of question. Okay, so I have another particular question here. It's also an opinion question here. I do have uh, one particular statement and one particular question here. But the topic is the same, but the matter is presented in a different way. It is argued that reading books is better than watching YouTube to learn. Do you think reading is advantageous than watching YouTube? So this is also an opinion question. So I can say it in another way. It's argued that reading books is better than watching YouTube to learn. Okay, so now I do have this particular question here. It's argued that reading books is better than watching YouTube to learn. Do reading have more advantages than watching YouTube? So this is another particular question. So in this particular question too, we are going to see the opinion of the candidate. So we are not going to say something else. We are going to say the opinion. All these questions deals with the opinion. I can say another example here, the same topic. Sorry, 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 my audio was mute. So it's argued that reading books is always a better option to learn. Do the positive side of reading books outweigh the negatives? So, a similar topic. So, this is also an opinion, personal viewpoint questions. So, from the very beginning up to this point, I can say, do you agree? How far do you agree or disagree? To what extent do you agree or disagree? Um, do you think reading is advantageous than watching YouTube? Do reading have more advantages than watching YouTube? Do the positive side of reading books outweigh the negatives? All these questions are asking your personal opinion. So that's why I classified this as an opinion, personal viewpoint question. For all these questions, you need to answer, you need to give your answer in the introduction itself. In the introduction of the essay itself, you need to say the answer for these particular questions. Whatever these questions are, whatever these questions are, this is highlighted in blue. So all these questions you have to answer it in the introduction. The answer should be given in the introduction. So this is what a type of question is. I've given some examples of opinion, personal viewpoint question. So in opinion, personal viewpoint question, we are going to see, we are going to state our own stand. So what we call it in the essay is the thesis. So the thesis is the personal opinion. So the personal opinion, we are going to share the personal opinion in the introduction itself. So that's what we are going to see here. And when we go ahead with the next type of question, so I can say the topic here, okay, here. In this particular question, you have two sides, two opposing arguments. So I told you the format of this first thing. You have one statement and one question. So here I do have two opposing arguments. So here. So two opposing arguments and one question. So this is the format, general format, and 90% of these uh, things will be, it will be given in this format. Two arguments and one particular question. So two arguments are given. Some people say reading books is better than watching YouTube to learn. Others feel just the opposite. Now I do have the other opinion too here. So I do now the other opinion. Yes. Discuss both views and give your opinion. Two opposing arguments. And you have to discuss and give your opinion. So this is the format of a discussion question. In a discussion question, this discussion opinion question. We do have simple discussion question. We do have discussion opinion question too. In simple discussion question, there are discussion questions without opinion. So you can say questions like this: discuss the advantages and disadvantages of computer. So there you are going to discuss the advantages as it is, disadvantages as it is. You are not going to give your opinion. But here in this particular question type, we have discussion as well as opinion. So we are going to discuss the matter, discuss the arguments in an objective manner, and then we are going to frame our conclusion at the end. Okay, that's the format, general format. Some will be giving you the hint what exactly your opinion is, and then you'll be moving ahead with explanation. So in both ways you can go. Some will be giving you the hint what's your viewpoint, and then you'll be discussing, and then we'll be giving a clear cut idea. So I think that it's some with somewhat a complex presentation. So I go with the simple presentation. The simple presentation is that we say that two arguments are there. Just two arguments are there, and that will be discussed here in this essay. And then you discuss paragraph number one, the point number one, the argument number one. And in the second paragraph, you are going to say argument number two. And at last, you are going to give the conclusion. So this is what the usual format of opinion discussion question. So you are going to give your personal opinion in both sides. In the previous question too, you are giving your personal opinion. In this particular question also, you are giving your personal opinion. In the previous type of question, you have given your opinion in the introduction itself. But here in this particular question, you have given your opinion, clear-cut opinion, only after the discussion of the topic. So this is what the difference between these two things are. So I have told that, so this is what we call two-part essay. Some people call it as two-part essay, and some people call this one-part essay. So one-part essay means one statement and one question. Two-part essay in the sense two arguments and then the question. So this is what the difference is actually. So they call it in different names, but the matter is exactly the same. So why they call it one part essay? One part essay means one particular statement and one particular question. So why they call it two-part essay here? It is two arguments and then the opinion. So one part essay and two-part essay, they call it sometimes. So that's the called classification. So here we are objectively giving the paragraphs. So we are not going to give your any personal viewpoints. It should be compulsory avoided in the body paragraphs. The body paragraph of this discussion questions should be purely the arguments, the argument discussion. It's not your personal viewpoint here. At any point, you are not going to give your own personal opinions or personal viewpoints in the body paragraphs. The body paragraph should discuss what A says or what B says. That's it. So we are completely excluding ourselves from giving our own personal opinion in the two body paragraphs. We do have only two body paragraphs here in this discussion question. But when we go to this particular question, we can write two paragraphs as a body, we can write three paragraphs as a body. So the ideal format for this particular question, the one part question, what do you call it, or the opinion personal viewpoint question, the ideal format is introduction, three body paragraphs, and a conclusion. So that's it. So we have discussed the format differences of this thing, and we have discussed the types of questions up to this point. So I'll be giving you the rest of the explanation in the coming session in part 2. Okay, thank you. Okay.